And there's an old adage that's certainly true for designer Leela Rose and her dog Stitch.
Good things come in small packages, but definitely describe Stitch. I would say Stitch is kind of a darling.
At 10 inches and 17 pounds, Stitch is not only a darling, he's a darling of the fashion world.
Whenever models come up, they always want to see Stitch.
With terrier tenacity, panache, and that foxy face, Stitch has been charming the famous and the fabulous and living it up.
Laura Bush is one of his biggest fans. Both former first daughters, Barbara and Jenna, love him. Mariska Hargitay, Zoe Saldana. He's gotten lots of love from Kristen Bell.
As you might expect, Stitch lives in style. Downtown, of course, in a stunning 6,000 square foot abode.
Stitch definitely has the run of the place. He gets to do whatever he wants.
This is what doggy dreams are made of. From the red carpet closet to the dining room table that folds into the floor and leaves more room for running. To the Stitchovator, his very own in-house transportation.
Stitch has never done stairs, and I don't think ever will. Unless they're fully carpeted, but no, he really doesn't do stairs. Stitch, let's go!
Stitch wasn't always a city dog. He got his start on a Texas farm where Leela adopted him at 5 months.
I just fell in love.
And this country dog didn't know what to make of the Big Apple.
He'd never seen concrete. He'd only been on grass. He was petrified of everything.
As the constant companion of Leela, he lets the good times roll.
Stitch leads a pretty fabulous life. He goes pretty much every place that I ever go.
Every day on a custom-made tricycle, Stitch rides through Manhattan with Leela to work in New York's garment district.
He is a guy on the go. People see him in the bike all the time and ask, does he ever jump out? And I always say, he'd have to walk then. Of course he doesn't jump out.
His workday is a busy one.
He kind of mans the office. He hangs out with the sewers in the morning. He hangs out with me in the afternoon. He loves to sit on bolts of fabric. If there's a bolt of fabric laid out on the ground, Stitch will figure out how to nestle right into the fabric. The shoulder needs to be slightly lifted.
From model fittings to meetings.
Okay, Stitch Poo, pay attention.
This fashionista has his finger on the pulse. But it's not all work and no play. Back home, it's party time.
Stitch is definitely a party animal.
Any food that drops on the floor is definitely his favorite part of the party.
While this dog may have trappings that many humans would envy, he's true to his terrier nature in his affection.
Stitch's favorite part of his life is just being around Leela all the time. It's riding in the trike. It's getting to go everywhere.
Honestly, Stitch is my first child. Every big thing in life, Stitch has been there for. He's just my little guy.
The mini donkey is so affectionate that it's easy to forget their role as livestock. Robin and Daniel Polashak took it to the limit, and in an unlikely beginning, their mini donkey, Wen-Jen, came into their lives, their hearts, and their house.
We got Wen-Jen in January of 2008. I was diagnosed with metastatic melanoma in the summer of 2007. And I was actually being treated at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, and I've always wanted a miniature donkey.
Robin found a mini donkey through the local grapevine and surprised Daniel at the end of his cancer treatment.
At first I was shocked, and then the tears just started streaming. It's just a love story from the very beginning. Yeah, she be lovey-dovey's now.
As a tribute, they named him after Daniel's oncologist, Dr. Wen-Jen Wu. And this Wen-Jen also helped Daniel with his recovery in a different way.
To have a donkey with his head laying in your lap and letting you scratch him behind the ears and just stand there for 15, 20 minutes, that's therapy right there. Oh, what a good boy.
As Daniel continued to rebuild his strength and this new relationship, they began to let Wen-Jen spend some time in the house.
We brought him in and just kind of let him explore, and for some reason, all of a sudden, he just fell right into place, like he'd always been an indoor donkey.
And what are Wen-Jen's favorite things to do in the house? Well, like most pets, he likes relaxing with the family.
He wants to almost get up in your lap when you're sitting up on the couch.
Wen-Jen also enjoys watching TV.
If he wants to come in and watch TV, that's what he does. Said a voice from within as if trying to blame.
And one of the favorite activities, listening to Daniel play his guitar.
Man, as I walk down the road,
He plays too.
my hands sing a peaceful abode.
And in case you're wondering, yes, he is housebroken.
He goes down the ramp, he does what he needs to do, and then when he's ready to come back in, he just comes back up.
And when not in the house or on the farm, Wenjen, like most pets, enjoys a good walk through town.
Absolutely adorable.
I think seeing a donkey walking down the street is pretty cool, actually.
And I see these all the time. I work with several of them in my business right here every day.
Could we have an Italian ice, please?
He spit out the mango, but I think he liked the cherry a little bit better.
Cherry's good.
These days, Wenjen's notoriety is more than just the streets of Charleston. He's becoming known around town as the cancer-kicking donkey and has helped raise money for the MD Anderson Children's Cancer Hospital. Today, with his cancer in remission, Daniel counts this special mini donkey among his many blessings.
This journey's been the most difficult thing that I've ever been through. Having Wenjen is now what's making my life complete.
The personality of a domestic shorthair is as varied as its looks. Some are quiet, some inquisitive, and some, like Percy, love adventure.
Percy. We had Percy from a kitten from a local farm, and we've had him for 7 years now, so he is part of our family. Percy adores adventure. Because we live so near to the coast, he's out more times than he's in.
What Anne and Yale Michael didn't know was that Percy's favorite adventure was the talk of the small seaside town of Scarborough, England.
A friend of mine sent me a text saying Percy's on the front page of the local paper.
Percy, deemed Scarborough's smartest cat, had found his way to the Scarborough Sea Life Center, a little more than a mile away from his home.
I think Percy found the Sea Life Centre purely from the smell of the fish.
The twist was that he was taking the train. For the past 3 years, in warm weather, when Percy hears the whistle blow, he boards the tourist train to the Sea Life Center all by himself. And he's a perfect passenger.
Everyone knows Percy who works on the railway. The passengers tend to get up here and see Percy, and we find he's an attraction. They make a fuss of him and he loves that. He's a real character, the young Percy, and we've grown to love him really.
When the train pulls in the station, Percy gets off the train by himself.
Morning, Percy. What are you doing, boy?
Then heads into the Sea Life Center. Now you might think a cat would have one thing on his mind in a place like this, but not Percy.
Well, Percy is quite an amazing cat, really, because when he does come down to the centre, he does like to have a look at the displays. Now, he's not your typical cat because he doesn't come and try and eat our fish or try and attack our other animals here at the centre. He actually just comes because he loves to have a look at the animals that we have here.
His favorite activity? Watching the penguins.
He really does love the penguins. He doesn't try and play with them, he doesn't try and eat them or anything.
And the penguins don't seem to mind this feline fan's attention.
When they started seeing him, they tended to have a little bit of a funny reaction to him. Obviously, it's not something that they usually see, a cat walking down and having a look at them. However, Percy has been coming down so frequently now that they have become quite used to him. And our penguins are quite intelligent as well.
Just like his human counterparts, Percy thrills to the sight of penguins, well, just being penguins.
You can see it in his face. He just loves seeing them walking up and down and doing things that penguins do.
He can be there for 20 minutes, half an hour. His behaviour is better than quite a lot of the humans, to be completely honest.
Even after 3 years, this fun-loving cat has not worn out his welcome.
He's such a friendly cat. He is absolutely lovely, and he really does not cause any trouble for any of the staff at all.
Percy's a minor celebrity in a small seaside town.
It seems that everyone knows that Percy is one unique cat. After a full day at the Sea Life Center, Percy does what every tourist does. He gets back on the train and rides home. Ah, what a good life.
We've had lots of cats over the years, but Percy is the one. He's such an individual cat. I don't think we'd ever be able to replace him.
As Percy's fans and millions of others can attest, the domestic short-hair cat makes an excellent pet.